Lots of people worry that they don't have what it takes to learn and master the formulas they need to know for the exam. Because most of these formulas are not provided to you, we want to show you the best strategies for memorizing the formulas and learning how they work. When it comes to the formulas, our first tip is to focus on studying and memorizing only 1 or 2 formulas a day. Only a few chapters have formulas in them, and the ones that do have a ton. So that means if you're studying chapter by chapter, there will be days or weeks where you hit a certain chapter and you're suddenly slammed with a bunch of formulas to learn. Those chapters can definitely get overwhelming. Rather than trying to learn so many formulas at once, we recommend pacing yourself by learning only 1 or 2 formulas a day. This is very easy to do if you are using our IEG study materials because they come with a bonus printable that includes all the formulas you need to know for the course in one PDF with a detailed explanation of each formula so you can learn the ins and outs of them. Now, when you do study a formula, you want to get a super good understanding of it. What is the formula result telling you? What does it mean if a result is higher versus lower, and so on? Simply memorizing the formula is not going to be enough to get you through your exam, so you want to take the time to learn how to use it and interpret the results. Our second tip is to practice writing down all the formulas you've learned so far from memory every day. Before you move on to learning the next formula, always take out a blank piece of paper to see if you can write down all the old formulas you learned from memory. Double check all of your answers, and if you got any components wrong, force yourself to do this exercise again until you can get them all down without any mistakes. This way, you're pretty much just learning to memorize one formula at a time rather than trying to learn all of them at once. When you are memorizing the formulas, try to memorize them exactly as they appear in the course materials rather than trying to cut out words. Otherwise, what if you're shown multiple components that have the same keyword? For example, if you memorize the loss ratio as incurred losses divided by premiums, are you sure you'll remember if you're supposed to plug in earned premium versus written premium? Don't take that chance. Memorize your formulas without cutting anything out. Every day, when you go through the exercise of writing down the formulas you've learned so far, it does help to number them. This whole exercise may sound tedious, but it's actually an extremely effective way for memorizing the formulas, and it'll come in super handy for helping you create a cheat sheet when it's time for your exam, which we'll talk about later on. In addition to memorizing the formulas, you also want to practice applying the formulas to actual word problems. One mistake that some students make is that they focus only on memorizing the formulas, and they don't spend any time or enough time learning how to actually apply them. It's really important that you look for as many word problems as you can to get that kind of practice under your belt, because we can pretty much guarantee that you will be tested on the application and interpretation of at least some of those formulas. Use any method you can to look for practice problems, such as reworking the word problems from your main course materials, or looking for word problems among your practice quizzes, or you can use the practice problems that we provide as part of our IEG study materials. On the day of your exam, immediately dump the formulas from your brain by writing them all out onto your scratch paper at the very start of the test. As soon as you get into the test center, grab a scratch paper and write out all of the formulas that you worked so hard to memorize, so you can give your brain one less thing to worry about remembering. If you followed our prior tip of doing this exercise every day, doing this brain dump will be a total piece of cake. Writing down all the formulas from the start frees your mind to concentrate on the test questions you have to tackle, and the list you made can serve as a handy cheat sheet that you can refer to throughout the rest of your test. Our final tip is, don't focus so much on the formulas that you don't give enough time to everything else. Don't get tunnel vision when it comes to the formula. Remember that the course covers a whole bunch of other stuff too, so you don't want to neglect studying all the other content. With all these tips and the bonus printables that come with our IEG study materials, we're certain that you can master these formulas and take your test with confidence.